The Tverbergs, 1877 to 2014.
Listen to Dagny share her memories of her mom and dad and brothers and sisters.
Dad having to try and line up passage for us to go here and there and try and arrange it somehow or other so we'd stop in Norway. And there were some people that, some of my friends who would say, oh, your parents have so much money, and because we'd stop in Norway and do things like that. And so I asked Dad about it, and he said, it isn't that. He says, I just save at different places. He says, I don't spend as much for the ships that we go on. He says, I take a cheaper passage and just save a few dollars here and there so that we can go off in Norway and see the families around there.
Check out Grandma's clothes as you listen to Dagny.
So you said that Grandma was very particular about her dress and how she looked, and
she liked to look really neat.
And where did she do her shopping? Where did she like to do her shopping in Northfield?
When we were in Northfield, she liked to do her shopping down at Perman's. And I know Mrs. Perman was probably very good to her because she had been a missionary, and she would go out of her way to help Mom when she'd come down. And I think she kind of held clothes for her because Mom had these clothes that certain sizes that she liked, and she told her any time that they came in, call her, and then she could just come down and look at them and find clothes that she liked to wear. And I remember she bought a blue dress that was must have had sequins on it because it was kind of bright and shiny, and she'd wear that when she would dress up for things. And I remember she had it hanging in one of the trunks when we went back to Madagascar, and I used to think it was so neat to go and try it on, and I thought it was so pretty. And I can't remember that she ever wore it out there, but she brought it back with her. And
Grandma made clothes for all of her children.
Yeah, and Grandma made all your clothes, didn't she?
She made all our clothes, and she actually was a pretty good at picking out clothes that were pretty. I remember she went shopping one day and got to this store and found this piece of a red, I don't know if it's silk, and it was just a big square piece, and she brought it home and she said she was going to make me a dress, and I thought, oh, you can't do that with that piece. But she whipped it together. She had just a short dress underneath, and then she had this big square collar on it, and I thought it was the neatest dress, and but she just made it, and I remember she got it ready for Christmas, and I had this bright red silk dress for Christmas.
Grandpa took the kids off the ships on the way home from Madagascar.
My mother used to talk about the ship rides home and how interesting those were, and playing with other kids and stuff. Do you remember any of your ship rides home from Madagascar, or the ones from the United States back to Madagascar?
Oh, those are the most interesting things. I guess it's one of the things I'm most thankful for is those month that we spent on the, was it really a month?
It was, yeah, 6 weeks maybe. Tell me why. Why was that so interesting for you?
We stopped at all these different cities up Africa and go on shore. Dad would take us in to see different things. He was a great one to go in and pick up little things that he thought Mom would like. And he'd say, oh, you kids can come along. And we get to go into these different stores and just see what they did at different places. And he was real good about letting us go. I think Mom didn't feel that good a lot of times. And so he'd take us along and kind of keep track of us while he would kind of search around to find things. I know he had some amber beads that he got one place because Mom wanted some, and he got some ivory beads for her that she liked, and he would spend time picking up things that she thought she would like in these different towns.
Dagny remembers Betty.
What do you remember about Betty?
I remember her as my babysitter. I mean, she took care of me all the time. I always went with her, and I think she felt like I was her responsibility. So I don't know if it was showed. I do know that, you know, after we were older now, when she was out in Washington, she called me all the time. And she called when she was dying. The boys were saying that she insisted she had to call me when she was just very sick.
Do you remember what she said?
She would just call and find out what I was doing, and I don't remember a lot of that she did. I think it was just to find out how I was, and she talked to me for a while.
Dagny remembers Borgie and Ivan.
Borgie read, and she read, and she read.
So she was the reader, huh?
She was a reader. She loved it, and she would read to me too. And I remember when I went down to Albuquerque and stayed with them, she was still reading and reading, and I thought, I don't see how she could see that much. But she was a big reader and a good reader, and she remembered a lot of it. She must have. I mean, she was a good student.
The sisters' rooming arrangements.
And
so you never roomed with her, though, or did you?
No, I never did room.
Never did.
I don't think so. I cannot remember ever rooming with her.
And who did she room with? Do you remember that or not? Or was?
With Swanee most of the time.
Oh, so Swanee and Borgie, and then you and Betty.
Yeah.
Kind of, that's the way it turned out. And
Yeah.
then later on, then you and Swanee were together.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, Dagny, yesterday you said that sometimes when you'd go down to see Borgie and Ivan, that Ivan went shopping for Borgie. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, Ivan was good to run to the store. They had a grocery store that was close by, and he would just run down there and pick the things that she needed at this grocery store and then come back with them.
And how about clothes shopping?
clothes shopping, the only clothes shopping I did with them was,
No. Ivan shopping for Borgie.
yes, but I went along with them, and Ivan was along, and he was telling her which clothes that she was supposed to try on.
Really?
They were basically blue and brown.
And why? Did you ever ask them?
I think I have asked Borgie why she picked this, and she says, well, Ivan likes them. He liked the brown and the blues on her.
And he was a pretty good judge of what clothes looked good on her?
Yes, it wasn't bad. I mean, they were simple, but
Sorry, honey, water.
Go ahead, Dagny.
okay. He kind of knew. I mean, they were nice clothes, not ornate in any way, just plain. Well, that was what I saw her wearing.
Just
all
nice,
the
yeah.
time.
Just nice clothes.
Yeah.
Ivan, jealous of Norwegians?
I don't know. It was. If you knew Borgie and Ivan at all, you knew it got to be an exciting time when they when you moved in on them, and they. Ivan would make such jokes about different Norwegian things, and Borgie would laugh and repeat the things, and so you got to know kind of what Ivan felt about most Norwegians. I think more that he was jealous of us.
No, I don't think he was. I think he liked to tease everybody, but I think he was proud of his own heritage and all.
Yeah, and I noticed he did eat lefse, even if he did make fun of it.
Dagny remembers Swanee.
Mother, I did when she was older, and when Betty and Borgie were not there anymore.
Then you roomed with my mom.
I roomed with them. I roomed with her the year she was so sick with malaria, and I used to lie in bed and worry about her because she was so sick, and they kept taking care of her by herself, and they just didn't want me playing around in the room. They wanted me to leave quiet and so that she wouldn't, so she could sleep and things. And otherwise, that was the one thing I remember, where she was so sick, and we moved. Most of our rooms were up on the top floor, and that year that she was sick, we moved downstairs and lived in a room kind of by ourselves, which was kind of different. One bed, and I slept off on the other side, and I remember being around her all the malaria.
She did, huh? Did any of the rest of you get malaria?
Oh, Lute had it.
He did too.
Yeah, I wonder if Milt did too. I don't know, but I know Lute did.
Dagny remembers the Wiltso.
Out there.
What did he shoot?
Pompongos.
What are those?
They are a hawk.
Oh, really?
That was what he wanted to shoot. I don't think he ever shot one, but he'd sit out on the rocks out there and then shoot up at the sky.
And so you say that your dad and mom let him do things like this, and they wouldn't let anybody else do it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I knew that Milt was doing things that Lute was not allowed to do. I think, again, it was Milt that was the one that would go down on the rocks and the reefs there and go fishing, or they found that octopus one time and brought it back, and I remember Mom cooking it, and we ate this octopus. and whatever. I do remember that the long tentacles that came out there, they were tough as could be, but we chewed away on them. And I liked the taste of them, but they were not the best eating. But I know that Milt liked to get out there on the reefs and dig around and see if he couldn't find another octopus.
Dagny remembered Luther.
Now, you're the big sister to Luther when it was just the two of you at the mission school. So did you kind of try to take care of him, or was he old enough to take care of himself then?
Well, I tried to take care of him a little bit because he had, he was sick so much.
Luther was?
Yeah.
Oh.
He had malaria really bad.
Huh.
And he would have to lie inside. He couldn't go outside and play with us. And try to fill in and read to him or something so that he wasn't just all by himself all the time. But he was really sick. He didn't even resent having to stay in.
How old was he when he had that? Do you remember about how old he was?
Oh, let's see, what would I say? Maybe like second, third grade.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Luther seen snow for the first time.
We were coming home, and we had been in Paris for a couple of days, and then we were going to go to Norway, and we got on the train. Luther was out in one of the other cars, and came up there, and I remember him standing there, and there was snow, and he said, "Snow." I said, "Snow." And he was so surprised. He had never, we'd told him about snow, but he could not remember. He couldn't even feature it, evidently. He was all excited then when we were up. We just hit Denmark, I think, and going through there, and it was starting to snow there. He was so excited about that snow coming down, because we've been telling him about it for many years. And evidently, he couldn't quite imagine what snow was like.
Dagny remembered Dagny.
Well, I don't remember it that much, but I remember they told me that I cried because I had to go back to school, and yet I liked going to school with my sisters and brother, and so I can't imagine that I spent that much time crying about it, but maybe I did. I like being out in the country. I like going out with they had this school right close by, and I had all these young kids that were about my age. When I first started, it was Dorothy Lovis. And as it went on, Agnes Ackland and Helen Trigstead.
Dagny climbing trees.
Climbing the trees. I loved, but I do remember the girls. I think they had dolls to play with, and I never was a doll person, so I probably was more interested in climbing trees.
Now, I can't remember hearing Grandpa preach. Did he, were you able to understand him when he preached in Malagasy? And
oh, yes.
yes, you could understand
You mean, could I understand the English?
Right, right.
I do the language as well as he did, practically. That I learned the language
Mm-hmm.
so that I
What, did you kids study it, or did you just learn it by being with the natives?
just learned it from being with them.
Huh.
Miteny anglisy ve ianao? Miteny anglisy ve ianao? Miteny anglisy ve ianao?
Dagny remembering Dale.
So Dagny, as you think back, when was the first time that you saw Dale? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I can. We were standing out by the entry going in. There's a gate into the place.
Into the Augustana Academy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was standing out there when I came, and he was with this friend of mine from Madagascar.
So then when did you fall in love with him then?
Oh, I would say a couple, maybe 3, 4 months.
And then he gave you that necklace?
Yeah,
When did he give you that? Was that before you were married?
yes. But,
Or when you were in high school?
yeah, I was still while we were in high school. It has a date on it, and
And was that kind of a promise necklace then, or?
I imagine kind of, I think he figured if he gave me something that would, and I would wear it, it would mean that I accepted it.
His invitation to marriage, huh?
Yeah, I imagine so.
The last surviving sibling.
Now, what do you think about being the last surviving sibling in the family? What do you think about that?
It's lonesome.
Hmm.
It's, you know, you have these times and you think, I should tell that person. I should tell them about something. I should talk to them about this. They aren't there anymore. And that's no fun. I know, because Swanee, you know, towards the end there, we used to call each other back and forth and just talk about different things. And
We're here with
now
Great-Grandma.
it's...
Where are you?
I keep thinking, oh, I should call Swanee and tell her this.
And where are you going now?
And then she isn't there anymore.
And what are you looking forward to at Como Town?
The ride.
You know, it got
Which
to be
ones?
that way with different ones.
The
With Betty,
teacup. So Grandpa can't get
she used to be such a good person to call me. And Borgie too. Borgie had Sunday afternoons she'd call me, and very seldom missed. And
The Tverberg and Lariseth spirit lives on.
Oh, my name is Carol. I'm one of the nurses here, and I remember when Dagny first came, and she was cheering others up. She liked to do something special on occasions that arose, and on New Year's she planned a party, and they had a party that night for a New Year's Eve party, and Dagny was the leader of the gang.
Did everybody stay up late? And
Well, there were a few. Not everybody could, but she had quite a few at that party. Do you
And then-
remember that, Dagny?
no, I think you're remembering better than I am.
and then food and everything was
Well,
planned.
she
and
talked to somebody, and I think they had some special food. I wasn't there late that night, but I know that there were those that enjoyed her party.
so she was an organizer.
She was an organizer. She saw that we had some fun around here.
Well, good. That's great. Thank you.
207 Tverberg family members.
And what a difference we have made.